Are you experiencing the fear of failure? Well, here are 3 quick tips to help you overcome and cure that fear. Number 1, when I was a psychology student, I learned about neuro-linguistic programming, NLP for short. The principle is that there is no such thing as failure, there is only feedback. So if I have a goal and I start taking action, I can treat it like an experiment or a hypothesis as a scientist to see whether my actions are getting me closer to the end result. If they're not, I can make adjustments based on that feedback. Number 2, I have learned that there is a balance. So there's a scale when it comes to fear. Having a fear of failure does not mean that I am inadequate, doing something wrong, or disordered. In fact, it's actually the normal, balanced way to approach a project like this. If I have fearfulness, that's when the fear will stop me from taking the action. If I have recklessness, it's when I take the action regardless of the fear, almost as an overcompensation for the fact that I have the fear, and do things without paying attention to the results, like we said in tip number 1, where I'm looking at the feedback to see what do I need to do. I have some fear of failure when I'm making these videos. I'm not an instantaneous viral sensation or millionaire. It's not like I immediately have 10,000 plus subscribers, but we're building and there's some organic growth. I have certain fears, but I'm looking at what are the results that we're getting? What do people respond to? What do people want to hear more of? And we're doing more of that. So despite the fact that I have some fears, I also have the courage, which comes from the Latin word meaning heart, in order to continue to take the action in a balanced way where the fear isn't stopping me and I'm not just doing things despite the feedback I'm getting. Tip number 3 is to just get started. I used to have this idea that I needed the perfect time, perfect place with the perfect people in order to do anything. If it wasn't perfect, it wasn't worth doing. I can remember I wanted to do a project like this, sharing myself and my ideas with the world, even back in high school. The original blog was going to be called My Life as a Teenage Robot because it matched what my experience was like at the time. I was just going through the motions of being in a private school, and I felt in some ways like a robot, and I wanted to share that with the world. In some ways, I'm glad that I didn't take the action back then, because 15 years later, I have much more to share with the world. But in other ways, I can see that I was waiting to have that perfect idea, to become saintly, to have nirvana already achieved, so that I could share the perfect message with the world. And I'm glad that I stopped waiting. I just got started, and it's been so much fun being able to share this with y'all. Stay happy, y'all.